Hey, fellow swarm catchers. Dale from Dale's Honeybees, Southwest Missouri. Seems like every time I post I catch a swarm, which I did yesterday, I get a ton of questions, especially from the new people trying to catch swarms, how I set up my bucket. Number one, they are cheap. Beats lumber prices today trying to buy lumber and build swarm traps. And apparently they're the right volume because I've had really good luck on catching swarms this year in buckets. And it's my first year ever using buckets. Last year I did wooden traps. I got 0. So I figured that I would just do a quick video, kind of explain how I set up my buckets and everything here, and hopefully give the new beginner or even some of the older experienced guys that want to set up buckets, and it'll just help you out a little bit. Number one, I drill a series of holes around underneath the lip, which keeps rain out. That is a 1 1/8 inch hole. Some people say 3/4. I found this works fantastic. I wax the inside of my buckets. This one in the beginning of the season was fully waxed. You can see there's some wax still in there. A little Ziploc snack bag in the bottom with a Q-tip, lemongrass oil, a couple holes punched in that little bag there, and I just use a push pin to hold it in place because I did a modification on my buckets, an experiment. I got some I modified and some I haven't modified, but I put a vent screen in the bottom, 2 1/4 inch hole. That's the perfect size for this. I took a piece of number 8 screen, took my torch, turned it down really low, laid my screen on there, and watched my screen. When it turned red, I just took and pushed the screen into the melted plastic. It's not going anywhere, and nothing's going to get in from the bottom. It gives the bees some ventilation when they get in this hot bucket, because it is hot here in Missouri right now. Now that bucket used to look like this bucket. I have a few girls visiting why I'm trying to do this video. They wanted to come and show everybody. Now we have 2 styles of lids. This style, I took the time and put starter strips on. Just took my table saw and cut slots and put that in, and I used an old piece of brood comb. It's not very big, it's only about 2 inches by 6/8 inches, and I took some frame wire. There's enough room to slide it underneath that wood piece when you staple it to the bucket, and you'll notice that's heavy, got some wax on it. And you flip it over. You can't see my staples very well because I camoed my buckets because of where I hang them. I just used an air stapler, some 1/2 inch staples, and stapled it right in place. Now the other way I did them, this one here, you can see the wax and stuff on the lid. This is when you leave a swarm in for a few days because a gentleman couldn't pick it up. That's good. That's swarm gold right there. I just stapled the wood to the lid and waxed, just put wax on the wood. Did it all that way. And of course I wire wrapped, there's a piece of old brood comb underneath that piece of comb. You can see how dark it is, and it's wrapped the same as the one on the other bucket. That's pretty much basically how I do it. I use Swarm Commander lemongrass oil as bait. I remove the original bail from the bucket, and I go with paracord. When you pull this up in a tree, you can pull this loop over top of the limb. It stabilizes the bucket. It doesn't blow around as bad in the wind. And if it happens to be off centered a little bit, if I can get this in the video here, you can simply take this knot and slide it over and adjust your bucket so it sets level. There's about, I don't know, maybe 30-40 feet of paracord here. I take an old padlock, I just stick it in my pocket, when I go to hang swarm traps, that padlock's heavy enough and easy enough to just throw right up over a limb, come back down, pull your bucket up, bait it up, tie it off, and you're good to go. So thanks for watching. Hope this was helpful, and happy swarm catching.